All right, so what we starting with today or tonight?
I think we can say like happy post because it was Monday. Mexico's independence.
Right, right, right. Um, had some celebrations going on. Um, got the festivities. Speaking of the festival we went to,
Oh yeah, for sure.
um, enjoying some food there. You know, I just thought about this. They didn't really have well, because I don't know if they purposely did it for that weekend of, and if so, I mean, there wasn't really any food in celebration of it, right? I don't know. I don't know that they needed to be, you know, that type of food there. But I'm just thinking about it like, so why do it on that weekend? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. I just thought about that right now.
I don't even think
Cause
Arlington did any celebrations for that.
well, the organization did like in parts of their other uh how should I put it? I guess other events that they
Mm,
segue on.
it was like the library.
Yeah, or like a theater. And then they used to have that festival in May. That's why too. But
Yeah,
they do typically do it that first week, also right around Cinco de Mayo. So
the festival also.
yeah, I think it's around May too, like in the beginning, that fourth, fifth weekend or whatever.
I think part of the reason why they probably don't is because a lot of like white Americans, European Americans, we start we start saying that because when they're like, "Oh, Mexican," I'm like, "Oh, you mean European American?" Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start checking white people like that.
And
And
what I mean was like the third, fourth, fifth, date.
but what I was gonna say was I feel like the reason there wasn't like the festivities going on, first of all, because they like to lump us all together, like from September 15th to October 15th. That's like Hispanic Heritage Month because a lot of Latin countries have their independence. So, but white Americans think that our independence, like specifically Mexico, is Cinco de Mayo, which is not even that at all. It's just, but like that's more, they'll celebrate that as opposed to our actual Independence Day.
Yeah. It just really dawned on me right now. I was like, hey, why'd they switch it to, you know, this this past weekend? I just thought about it and
They're being
real
shady. I'm just
I
kidding.
well, and I just had to think about it like, hey, but even still you could have, or not that you could have, but there was no like food or anything that I came across in celebration of it, which is fine. I will say, which is fine. It's just that there was other things going on that were, I guess, marketing to that, right? So speaking of which, what you like to start with, boxing or MMA?
I think MMA, just because we already know how the boxing's gonna go.
Okay, okay, yeah. So immediately, did we just start with the showgirls, like
Oh, the Ring Girls.
yeah,
Right, right, right.
or the ring girls? Yeah,
Um, I just thought like honestly, to me, I felt like they're doing a little bit much. Like I understood the whole concept that they're trying to go with, like, um, it being like the weekend of Mexico's like independence, right? And of course, because there's like, well, there was like a Mexican fighter, right? Um, but I was like, some of the stuff, and I get we're getting into October, but like them being dressed as Catrinas, which is something that's for El Dia de los Muertos, like that's not stuff you cosplay as, and that's what it is, like, because it's not a costume, like that's for, and to be quite honest, that's a holiday in November, not even October, so like it was a little bit too early, and then with the headdresses and stuff with the other set of ring girls, I was just like, if I'm remember correctly, the whole thing with the headdress isn't necessarily how they were dressed majority of the time. So like again, it was like I see what they're trying to do. They just like really missed the mark with those. Because honestly, what would have been better is just the ring girls maybe having like, you know, like their outfits how they usually do, and maybe with like the colors of like the Mexican flag. Does that make sense? Because if they're already gonna go that route and trying to like represent Mexico, why didn't they just do that? You know?
Yeah.
Personally, I think like
Just maybe also trying to take advantage of it being the first night at that venue, the New Sphere in Vegas.
right, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, so they took advantage of like the graphics feature. And so I guess to go along with that, that's why they did that. Give them the outfits. To go along with it, with the backdrop, you know. So they kind of created like a I don't know what you think, because it's fighting, you know, trying to make it like,
Oh, I get like the Aztec warrior.
Yeah.
I think my annoyance with that is just that first of all, Mexico still has a lot of indigenous communities that are like thriving, and the Mayans being like specifically one of those. Like, to be quite honest, the Aztecs kind of like not died out, but like that community, I would say, is like a lot smaller compared to the Mayan like community in Mexico. And not just that, there's a lot of indigenous communities, and to lump us all as Aztec, like, it's just not okay. You know what I mean? Like, because what it does is does erasure. Like it lumps us all together, and then like when there's actual like live ones right now, because they're not Aztec, they get like looked over. So I feel like that's the problem. That's like the problem I have with it. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
it just like takes away from the people that actually are alive and like still in present day Mexico, and always bringing up like the Aztecs and being like, cause I hear it all the time. Like I'm like, oh, I'm like, you know, like I'm bronze like the Aztecs. I'm like, that was like kind of just, you know, Mexico City and surrounding like area. That's not all of Mexico, you know, like do your research. And yeah, so I think that's the issue, you know.
yeah. So maybe if there was a variety of things that are part of the culture, you would say.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like the green girls also, because like they tend to be like sexy, right? Like 'cause they're gonna, you know. So I was like, what was wrong with just wearing red, white, and green, like, you know, and that, or like, you know.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it just threw me off a little bit. Like when I saw them, I was like, okay, now, y'all gonna do this every time? What do you think?
Because okay, so because like with UFC, there's not that many Mexican MMA fighters, to be quite honest, right? So if anything, that would have made more sense in boxing, right? Because I feel like there's a lot more Mexican boxers, and that tends to be like the dates, you know? It tends to be May, it tends to be September, like. So I feel like the UFC was trying to like jump on that, but just kind of like over jumped it, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, it was like entertaining, right? But I was like, oh wow, like they're really going there, you know. Was he even the headliner for that night? Was that the top fight, the one we saw?
I don't know, cause then we switched over, so
No, I feel like there was two other ones, right? And
there were two more fights,
and they like the other guy lost, right? The other Mexican guy.
Yeah.
So even still, like, that's where I'm saying, like, I think the UFC was like, let's get on and like, you know, kind of like play tribute. Also because it was in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So then like there was a lot of stuff going on that weekend specifically for like, you know, like the Mexican independence. So.
And a lot of celebrities showed up. I did notice that. Rey Mysterio, his
That's
son.
Cool.
Huh?
You mean Eddie Guerrero's?
Right. Yeah, it's just because I know the argument's gonna be like, damn, see, like every time then we try to show some love or
at it,
tribute. Let's see, like this is why we don't. Like it's not that. It's just again like how you put it. Sometimes you overdo it. You know, it just doesn't. You get the feeling like as we felt when we saw it. Like okay, you don't have to do all that. Like.
my argument for that, when people say that, it's like, I feel like when it comes to like other people's cultures, they also want it to be done like tastefully and done correctly, right? They don't want it to be like something where it's like a marketing thing, right?
Right, right.
And I
There
think
you
at
go.
the end of the day, that's what it is. It was like a marketing ploy to try to be like, oh, see. But my thing behind that is like, um, just like do some research and just get it done right. Like, what's wrong with like saying that, you know? Because if it was someone else and they'd speak up, they just like, I'm sure the same conversations happen to be like, oh, you guys are always like bitching about something, right? But I'm like, right, because where's the learning curve? Like, when are they just gonna like get it that it's not a marketing thing? Like, there needs to be a little more respect to it. Like, that's
They
that's
don't
all
care.
I'm saying. I know, and I get that. So I'm like, right, but like, I'm gonna have my opinion.
They
on
care
it,
about
you know?
them dollars, yeah.
Right. It's
That's
just
all.
like,
And then, noche instead of night. You know what I'm saying? Like, just everything about it. Like,
well, it's because now we're marketable. Remember, like for the longest,
There
they
you go.
didn't care about us, you know. So.
right, right. And speaking of how you mentioned that is usually in boxing, right? Because it's those huge events that happen in May and September. Um, he just announced that Dana White, speaking of UFC, that he's now jumping into boxing. So he's got like these announcements coming, and I don't know. Maybe it's because now he is trying to get in that market, knowing that it's probably better there. Because now this is a post that I came across, supposedly, I guess, because even with that event, it didn't meet its expectations dollars wise. But also because Canelo was fighting the same night.
Right, but that's like my thing. Like there was so much going on, not just the Canelo and the UFC thing. Peso Pluma was having a concert. Like there was a lot of people there.
Oh yeah, you said
and
that.
there's like a lot of people coming in for the fights and then like concerts, you know, like
Yeah. I forgot you did mention that to me.
so like with that I'm like, right, the like first of all, the UFC isn't on top of it like that. Like they tend to do like other stuff. There's not that many Mexican boxers, right? And even just like Hispanic ones in general in UFC, for them to have jumped on, and on top of it, because they're at the new venue, I'm sure that must have cost them something.
Oh yeah.
So like the balance of like trying to do that at the new venue, and then like I'm sure out of pocket that must have cost them a lot. And then like, because what did we do? We were going back and forth watching the fights, and once we saw just that one fight because I was remember I brought it up. After that, we're like, let's just finish watching the boxing. Like,
Yeah, because at that point you're making people pay
right.
for two. You know,
Right.
which one are they gonna choose? It's probably what was it? I forgot, like $80 or whatever. And what's it call it? Damn. Right. Profit wise is what I meant to
Right.
say earlier. Profit wise, it wasn't what they were expecting. So maybe now that's why for sure he's like, yeah, I'm gonna jump into the boxing game and try to compete there. I don't know. That to me is sort of surprising because he's always defended MMA in such a way, that I understand why, because of course he's always dealt with MMA. So now, like, I just kind of confused and wondering how he's going to go about the boxing thing, because you got Top Rank, you got I think also because he was encouraged by Logan Paul's, MVP promotions, or because it's, what is it, most valuable promotions, turning out well for him and what that brings in. Because I do believe, yes, like boxing is still generating more or paying, the athletes more also along with that than, of course, MMA does. And that's the way I'm seeing that is why he's jumping into that, profit wise, and who are going to be his fighters, because he only deals with MMA fighters. So that's going to be interesting how he's going to scout for them,
Or yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So this must have cost him a lot. So, but yeah, like back to the whole marketing tool. Yeah, because like think about it. So what's next? Like some Japanese fighters that he's gonna arrange uh, to take over mostly of a fight night, and then I have to mention, but see, this is what I'm talking about. Is this how they go about it? Like, oh yeah, and then we're gonna have like a dojo in the background, like or those those type of structures. I don't even know what they're called, but see the way that I'm even trying to have to say those things is like that's how this felt. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Exactly. Just me by saying it, right? Just me going, oh yeah, a dojo, and then you automatically think like, oh yeah, like really, like a dojo, like.
So I'm trying to think like like.
I'm not doing research here. You see how like I don't even
with,
know.
Like Conor McGregor, because he's like Irish. Have they ever done like?
No, they didn't even do it. No, they didn't.
Exactly. So I'm like,
they didn't.
That's like
they went over there. In fact, they went to Ireland, I believe.
That would have made more sense. That
right?
They would have
or even on a tour.
It would have made more sense. They would have gone like had UFC, like a UFC mat, like the thing in Mexico.
My bad. I think they went there for the tour, but I'm pretty sure they've had some events.
But even still,
there,
they didn't do
like
the whole Irish thing.
True.
Like, that's what I mean. Like
true. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's like don't they have like what St. Patrick's Day, right? They didn't do that whole like, right?
Yeah. Nah.
So it's like weird.
Exactly.
That's what I said.
So yeah, other than that, of course, Canelo was fighting with I forget his name.
Berlanga.
Yeah, but is it Edgar Berlanga? Mm-hmm. Right. And I can't help to think, but about what was it, Cam and Mace? Now I know you came across the clips that you came across after the fight, but leading up to the fight. They did have him on their show.
I did see those clips eventually. Yeah,
like before the one when he was talking.
Yeah, but beforehand? I didn't see them before the fight. I saw them after the fight. I did come across that they had interviewed him.
Okay. So do you want to set it up and then I'll chime in, or
no? You can go first.
Okay, so yeah, on It Is What It Is. They had him on there, and what I like about this show is that Cam and Mace don't hold back. And they speak to any guest the same way, right? So I like that when, you have like legends on there, whoever, right? Michael Irvin and some other, athletes that come on there, kind of giving an analysis type of answer, and they're like, "Yo, we didn't ask that. Just say yes or no," or like, and then you can give the explanation, right? But they never say it. They're like kind of. Speaking
correct.
Yeah, there you go. And I like that about them, like, that they're just like.
Wait, really quick, was it just him or was Canelo on there as well?
No, it was just the Edgar guy. But yeah, they do to everyone. So what they liked about Berlanga, right, was that that he didn't do that. So I felt them on that because maybe they thought just like other athletes on there try to do, he didn't, so, but then again, I was thinking what?
I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, but doesn't that go with the promo that he's like talking shit, like
right, you're right. And exactly, it's a current athlete. It's not one of those that retired that will look at it and not try to be biased, which I kind of do also understand why other, like I said, retirees answer in a certain way to be fair. That I disagree with them, but I do get where they're trying to get just straight to the point. Because, or to at least for them to acknowledge, hey, I understand, like at least say to them, like, at least we understand like where you're coming from, because of course you're not trying to be biased. But then that's the point. It's like, they don't want them to be. They're just like, more like not biased, my bad, like fair, like playing,
fair. I was gonna say, because I'm like, he's pretty biased because he's talking about himself, like
no yeah well, I'm saying like in general of what they do, they're just like, hey, pick and choose, and then because and then explain why you don't choose the other, like, so you can still give your both opinions on two sides, but it's like they just want them to choose, like when they're speaking to their guests, they want them to choose a yes and a no. Right, they don't want like, oh well, maybe, or because such and such record, so there's chances of an outcome of this, but you just never know, like, so what they like was that exactly. I guess they assumed that a current athlete would do the same. But you're right. Like, no, you would expect that he would go, yeah, I'm gonna kick his ass. Like,
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Which he did. He was talking his shit, and they were loving that about him. Like, oh, okay, talk your shit, go in and whatnot. And then, but yes, you're right. Like, cause I'm thinking as an observer, I don't consider myself like a huge sports analyst. I'm just an observer, and when I can come across it. So, and being that this is something I keep up with, I was already kind of exactly like my common sense kicked in. Like, well, yeah, that's one thing, but then also you got to realize it's a fight that's coming up soon, and he's got to talk his shit like to sell the damn fight. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, so of course, we all know now what the outcome was. And I understand, like, I know you're still gonna say what you're gonna say, which is fine. But once you told me that there was a clip out there where they cropped it and then saying that, oh, how they're gonna go against him now, I immediately, and I get that too. I get it, cause see, that works too, right? But I'm just saying, like, right, they it's because to them it was like a letdown, But then Cam did, like, when you watch the entire segment when they're talking about him specifically, in there, Cam or Mace, one of them do acknowledge, like, well, we do get the side too of boxing or of a fight coming up that you got to promote it. So they just kind of
forgot about that.
Yeah, they but I get it, because like you wanna like get into it too, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, like, and it's believable. So to them it was a disappointment, because they don't. But they also don't want it to be that you're just selling the fight. I think it's more of that they're disappointed at the fact that, like, we get it, you have to promote a fight, but then also we want to believe that you're going to do what you're saying you're going to do. Because one thing is, like, sell the fight, right? Just in general, sell the fight, right? Even if you just say, hey, it's going to be a showdown. You don't want to miss this because, like, blow for blow, pause, like they say. But like, we're gonna go at it, right? So you don't want to miss all the action. Versus, I'm gonna go in there and just knock his ass out round 6. It's on. He has no idea. You know how I do, and I'm gonna hit him with this. He's not gonna see it coming. You start getting pumped up about it more, and then kind of want to believe, like, oh shit. And that's what they pretty much were explaining after the fact, like, yeah, he came in here talking this shit, and we got convinced that, hey, there's probably a chance there. And I also, like, because she showed me the clip and I hadn't seen that episode specifically just yet, so then I had to catch up with it. And I did catch the part where Mace was like, yeah, once I saw them designer shoes on, I knew it was a wrap.
Okay.
But there's a point to that. Wait. All right, but there's a point to it. I know what he's saying, because it's true though. Like, I didn't catch the Roy fight that he was mentioning, but I was like, what was it? Ryan Garcia, when I saw him come out, right? With that, shining dress, right? And with that song, like,
it was really the song. It was the song.
I was like, okay, I see what you're doing, and what I tell you when we were watching, I was like, oh man, he's gonna lose. Like, it's just like his whole mood changed, and that's what they were saying too about Berlanga. Like, he just had a switch up once he showed up, which was a huge point he made beforehand on their show, saying, oh, all these other boxers, when they show up, especially with versus Canelo, there's a switch up. Like, they talk this shit, and then they show up, and then they don't have the same attitude and approach. But that's exactly what he did. And then they were like, yo, and then at the end he was like hugging on him for a while, telling him, yo, you're my idol. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, keep the same energy, bro. Like, okay, you can say that at the end, but like, the energy even in the fight wasn't all there. So that's what they're saying. And
I don't.
Plus, those designer shoes.
I'm like, did we
was
see,
a dead giveaway.
Nah, but did we see the same fight though? Did we see this? Were they watching the same fight?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that. Oh
no, in the sense, because I'm like, they're full of shit, because They're full
What
of
do you
shit.
mean? Okay, what
They're
do you
full
mean?
of shit.
I see
Like,
what you're saying. Okay.
they're full of shit because okay, so like first of all, because like this is I'm not saying so much about the switch up. Like I get it. Like right, it's not that. It's just their bullshit excuses for the switch up. Right. I was like, first of all, I was like, part of it. I felt like I'm like, they just want to see someone whoop Canelo's ass. Period. Like period. And they keep coming up with these fighters thinking like this is gonna be the one, this is gonna be the one, right? Did that not happen with Floyd? Everybody's like, this is gonna be the one, and it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. At this point, Canelo's choosing the fighters.
Right.
It's the same thing with Floyd. So I'm like, why do y'all think it's gonna be a different outcome? Regardless. Like that's my whole thing. Because with Floyd, everybody's like, no, it's gonna happen. It never fucking happened. It's never gonna happen. Not until like he retire. You know, like he's gonna retire with no like, because he's gonna choose his fight. So let's just get that out of the way, right?
Yeah.
They're on promo tours up until the fight because Canelo went on a podcast, and guess what? The guy was Puerto Rican, right? You know how Canelo, he loves to talk shit too, right? He told, like, because the guy asked him, he was like, okay, like, who do you think is going to win, right? And then, of course, Canelo's going to be like, obviously me, right? Like, the answer's going to be me, right? And then they're like, okay, but let's play around with the idea that Berlanga, like, wins, right? What's that going to do to your legacy, right? And so Canelo's like, he's like, this fool, right? He's like, nah, he tells him, he's like, he tells the host, right? He's like, no, who do you think is gonna win? Like, you tell me or him. Like, you have to choose a side right now. Like, I already said I'm gonna win, but and he's like, well, it's because I'm Puerto Rican. He's like, no, answer it. Who are you going for? Don't just say because he's Puerto Rican. Like, and he was like he didn't really want to answer. He was like, well, it's gonna right? And he's like, but I gotta support. And he's like, okay, that's fine, right? He's like, okay, let's just get that out of the way, right? And he's like, even if he were, he's like, I'm gonna entertain it. Even if he were to beat me, it's not gonna affect my legacy, because like, I'm already established. I came to do what I said I was gonna do, right? So he's like, to answer that question, right? So I'm like, right, they're wanting too much of the shit talking. And one thing I heard Canelo say was, he's like, y'all can talk all that shit outside of the ring, but once you get in like, which is what he said, every single time they've gone in the ring with him, it's a switch up, right? I personally didn't see necessarily that switch up with him, with the guy. Because he still did the most with all the people fucking walking him out. So, like, did I think the song choice was whack? Yeah, but, like, I felt like for Puerto Ricans, it was what they wanted, right? So, with that, I was like, Canelo said, he's like, y'all can talk all this shit. He's like, but where it's really gonna matter is in the ring. And that's where, like, I will say there was times, even after he, like, knocked him down, right? The fact that he got back up, like, pretty quick. He was, like, they lasted the rounds. Canelo didn't knock him out, right? Like, I still think he put up a good fight, like, all in all, right? I think he just got humbled and was able to say, like, hey, because he, like, how he explained, he's like, at the end of the day, he's like, I wasn't able to actually talk with him, because right away we got into, like, to try to sell the fight. And he's like, because the fact that I saw it, I think it must have been, I guess he was doing another interview where he was like, they were telling him like, oh, this is an opportunity for you. Like, he's giving, like, Canelo's giving you this opportunity, because out of all the fighters, he decided to choose you. And the fact that he was like, oh yeah, like, I understand that, right? Like, so I think that that's why, like, I know it threw people off when they're like, he's my idol, but I'm like, come on, now he's the face of boxing. Like, he was humble enough to, like, in a sense, because, like, there was, like, you're going to eat your words. And he did. And he, like, stood up and he's like, I still look up to this person I wanted to be. You know what I mean? Like, in that sense, I feel like he was accountable. He's like, I did talk all that shit. Now let me be humble and be like, I did. So I feel like that didn't take away from him. Everyone else that was talking shit that couldn't be like, that means Arcangel, Fat Joe, even his own dad, all those guys had to eat their words because they couldn't be like, oh, you know, like they like. The one of the guys that walked out with him, his face, like they zoomed in on his face, like at the fight where he was just like, because I'm like, I'm sure they probably bet money on him, you know, like. Now, wait, Cameron and Mace, like I said, it was more of just like, oh, once they saw the shoes, I'm like, this guy has been flashy the whole time, like just talking out his ass. Like, come on now, he's an experienced fighter. I feel like, you know how they would say, the more shit you talk, the more it's gonna kind of backfire on you. You should just stay quiet and like, yeah, still kind of be like, nah, I'm gonna, you know, but like how you said, right? He was doing too much. And I know they have to sell this fight, but did you see like at the conference when Canelo was like, Viva Mexico, like, and then he was like, oh, Puerto Rico, and it just got quiet. It was like awkward. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, he's saying it also because it's Mexico's like Independence Weekend and like you're trying to make it about Puerto Rico. Like, remember there's another boxer that did the same thing, like was even trying to take the guy's belt, and it was like,
oh yeah,
the Puerto Rican against the Mexican. And what happened to him? His ass got knocked down for talking all that shit. Like, I was like, it's just gonna happen. Like, don't run your mouth like that. Like,
yeah.
You know?
And to clarify, what I meant with Ryan was that fight that he had with Tank. Because I know the most recent one, well, it's still up in the air because of all the controversy and whatnot, you know. But I, you know, if anything, I'll give it to him that at least, he kept up the same energy.
Yeah,
it was just, again, like, I was just going with Mace, that little point he made about the designer shoes. Like, because, you know, it's like, at that point, you're just going for show. You know?
Right, absolutely.
You know? Like, we get it, but it's like now it's starting to feel like exactly like that you just got the opportunity to show up and get the bag.
Right.
You know, that's what we don't want to feel. We get it. We understand. Get the bag.
Right.
And hit the bag. but like,
all in all, I felt like he put
but
up
you're
a
right.
good fight. He did.
You're right, because yeah, like Canelo could have knocked him out just like how he usually does.
Yeah, he
other
didn't.
boxer, and he didn't. Like,
Right.
you thought so,
Yeah.
like that he was gonna end it quick because of that first knockdown in the round 3.
Yeah.
And no, yeah, he kept up the rest of the fight. So
Because you know how sometimes that can throw them off, like that they get knocked down so quick, you know, like that they won't be able to, like, they're like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
that's it, like, you know, they don't have, and he actually came
did.
back, so like,
yeah. So they, and yeah, I don't know if they, damn, see, I can't remember if they gave him that at least, that he lasted the rest of the fight. But I'm just saying, like, I could see that maybe they just didn't feel the full energy that he had beforehand. Is what they're kind of saying. Like, hey, you know, like it just didn't seem like it was all the way there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but come on now, it's because you're walking in with the fucking stadium full of Mexicans. Like, it's the, you know, that weekend that they're celebrating their independence. It's Canelo, like, you know. Like, because, you know, when they were like, I think he was like, going, and they booed him. And then when Canelo was like, hold up, let me show you. And everybody was like, you know, like.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, it's just because, like, well, you know, he's from the East Coast, so it's sort of like one of their own. And that's what they were giving him props on, too. Like, yo, you know, there's the New Yorker. Like,
well, it's because also they were saying, like, the New Yorker thing. You know,
oh,
so,
right. Like, how he was, you know, coming with that heat. So they, I guess, got pumped up. You know? Now, Mace actually was saying that he had a chance. Like, he really believed that he was going to be the first to beat him. Well, I mean, I know there's technically 2 other losses that Canelo has faced, right? But, like, this could have added another one to him, another L. But, yeah, no, Cameron was like, nah, I mean, I never say he was going to win the fight. I'm just saying, what was that energy? Like,
lies.
But, you know, it is what it is. Like they say. No pun intended. But yeah, Anything else about that? Like,
No, I think
nah, right?
that was
You know, so but I will say the fight, like you said, yeah, it's getting to a point where he's just picking and choosing, and he really needs to give, because I will say also that the Berlanga, I mean, if you look at Canelo's face, he did damage, like he hit him pretty good, and Berlanga, from what I saw, didn't really look banged up as much as Canelo did in the face, right? Even though, of course, we saw what we saw, and Canelo's, got power. But yeah, what I was gonna get to was that he needs to give Benavidez the fight.
I don't think he's ready. It's because I came across some things, and I know that that was like the one he's been ducking and dodging for a while. But then I don't know that he's ready, because also like the weight class thing, I didn't. Yeah,
he needs to get used to it a little bit more. So yeah, let's not rush it, but we do need that fight before Canelo decides to retire or say that.
For sure.
Nah, you good, bro. Like, I'm out.
Well, he's gonna pull a Mayweather.
But
he literally is following that man's formula. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. And all the money he's making, he learned from that loss that he went against.
It would be a better fight than the damn Mayweather and Pacquiao fight, for sure. It has to be. And yes, like, let's give Benavidez a little bit more time, because we finally saw him in that heavyweight class, or light heavyweight, right? No, light heavyweight.
He still needs to fight 2 other guys before.
Yeah, because like he did good, but for the first time you saw that he wasn't able to like put this opponent away like how he usually does.
Right. I think he needs to get through those other 2 fighters. I think it's Bivol and some other B last name too. Like, for sure, I think if he gets through those 2 guys, then like I think he'll be ready to go against Canelo. Like,
for sure, because what's that word? It was dubbed, right? Am I saying that right? Because the Pacquiao and Mayweather was, or coined, the fight of the century.
Oh yeah.
But I believe this one will overtake it if it does happen, and I'm really hoping that it does happen. Like, it'll be one of those fights that like everyone will have to be watching, for sure.
For sure.
Like, the UFC should not. They would know not to, put an event against this on the same weekend. Respectfully, like, come on, they're gonna have to watch this too. For real. It's gonna be crazy, but and you know how Benavidez is, like, he doesn't hold back, and I feel like he will come with the same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, for sure.
I just need them to chill out.
For sure. Even if he doesn't win, like, he'll keep the same energy, for sure. And to be honest, I think I'll go with him. Even like,
I don't know. I'd have to see, like.
But we gotta, like, I gotta see his next matches, because again, he just into this weight class, so it just kind of concerned me a little bit there. But I'm like, oh damn, he wasn't able to, like, do
what he usually does.
Yeah. Moving up a weight class, so it'll be very interesting, for sure.
For sure.
I might even go to it. We should, right? That'll be crazy. But damn, I know them ticket sales gonna be crazy too. So gotta start planning now, for sure. What's next? What else we talking about?
Oh well, we're still talking about Cameron and.
Yeah. Oh right. Another thing that.
These fools saying shit.
Man, I'm with Cam on this. Where he said that.
Yeah, but he was doing too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel him, but he was doing too much.
They be clowning on there. What he said about Shannon Sharp, in his IG
indiscretion.
Live mishap. Supposedly.
Stage now.
Yeah. And has all these marketing things ready to go for it. It's where he was getting at, and apparently because he's selling merch now in the name of the woman he was, having sex with.
Why even expose her like that?
That's what they're saying too. Like, but apparently because, I can't find the full clips apparently, because, or maybe I just don't hear it I've only like listened to it twice, but apparently he's saying her name in the video. Like, cause I'll see the comments and they're like, not, and then they'll quote right like, my Michelle. I guess he says that in the video. I really couldn't catch it, like, you know. And then so I guess just to make up for everything of it, like, quote unquote, the embarrassment of it.
Yeah, but it could have been any fucking Michelle. Like the fact that he like said her first and last name right, like to confirm, right? Or was it just Michelle?
Oh no, I don't know. I just, when the comments they were just saying Michelle, and apparently it's some chick that he works with. I gotta look more into it because I really didn't deep dive into who this Michelle supposedly can be on the network or whatever. In the realms of where he works. But yeah, just other than that, speaking of her, whoever this lady is, Mace was in disagreement because he's like, or unless you give, she's like part of the what's it called? Pretty much getting her cut out of it, because it's like, why exactly? Like, why are you gonna expose me? And
she
then
wants her royalties.
Yeah, there you go. Like, you know, and then sell merch based off my name. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, even though, of course, we don't know just yet who it is, this Michelle that he was talking about.
Oh, but like, trust and believe that the internet's going to find her.
For sure.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's just crazy work. Like, to do merch then on top of it.
Yeah. And then also, again, agreeing with Cam, you know, saying that, bro, it takes like 4 steps to go live, you know. And we did just kind of see his explanation about it all, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like,
no.
Yeah. And usually I do try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's just, this one just doesn't make any sense, like, at all. Like, what they were saying is that he was trying to go viral because he hadn't gone viral in a while since the Cat Williams thing. And I don't know if ratings or whatever, views, anything, because now, you know, if so, then, but why, right?
I feel like he had, like, I think 2 other guests after that. Well, at least on TikTok, they went viral because they were kind of calling him out. Like, oh, you know what? Is John Cena was one.
Oh, he was on there?
Yeah, John Cena was one because he was, like, laughing at him for not having kids. Like, they were and so, like, they were, like, standing up for John Cena because they were, like, saying, like, because, you know, like, how the whole thing I told you with with the Bellas, like, the girl he was, like, engaged,
oh, right,
married,
yeah,
married
but
to.
then,
and then the reason they got divorced was because
he didn't want kids, right?
She knew that going in, though.
Oh, okay,
she did know that going in, but I think she thought, like, how a lot of women think, I'm gonna be the one to change his mind. And oh, I know what the issue was, is because he said he played around with the idea that he kept telling her, like, just wait, just wait, just wait.
Oh,
and that he's like, maybe I'll change my mind. And then she was like, hey, I'm literally losing, like, my most fertile years. Like, this obviously isn't going anywhere. And, like, I think made him, like, just stand on it and be like, just tell me, like, that's not gonna happen. Instead of, like, he's like, yeah, it's not. So then that was, like, the whole. So going off of that, at first there was, like, controversy because they're like, how, like, you led her on essentially by saying, like, you could possibly change your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then he asks him again, like, now at this age, right? And, like, he's like, are you still standing on that? And he was very well, he articulated it very well. He's very self-aware, John Cena. And he's like, how do they put it? He's very selfless. It's selfish to have kids. It's selfless not to. What's it called? So he was just like, it takes a lot of time. He's like, he's not ready. And he just wouldn't want to, like, bring a kid into this world while he's still trying to do what he's doing and have that affect him, because I guess he himself has experienced that, like, as a child, and I guess being in the wrestling business and seeing maybe what that, like, 'cause think about Dom and his storyline. Like, Rey Mysterio was like a deadbeat dad. There's,
he
like,
was always away,
right, because of the whole wrestling thing. So as much as that's like a joke in a storyline, there's truth behind it, right? And like having a career and wanting to do something that you can't do everything, and you can't like you can, but that means that you're not gonna give your 100 to everything. So he's like, I know I'm not gonna do. I'm not in the place, and I've decided, and I'm still standing on it that's fine. And Shannon Sharp kind of like made fun of him about it and was like, so that did kind of go viral. So, but I guess maybe he wanted it to go as viral as Cat Williams,
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because he would have to want to have kids, basically.
Right, and he doesn't want to,
right.
and he's
because that's different. Other than saying I wouldn't be able to because of this, or like I don't think it would be fair to them because of this, as opposed to just saying I don't want to,
right,
because of this,
right.
like
I
want to still do what I want to do.
And it sounds a little harsh. Like it can sound like a little bit like, I guess, how people want to be like selfish, but it's really not, because he's very like aware of what that means, and he knows for himself that he can't do that. So
yeah,
that's where I say like,
because I mean we already don't see him.
Now imagine his kids. That's so funny. So there was that. The funny thing about that is because you're saying about like, is that what you heard, that he was like trying to go viral, and that's like that was the reasoning behind the stagedness of that?
Yeah, because I mean Cam is suspecting, like, again, like, bro, the 4 steps you have to take to even go live, that it even asks you, are you sure, to confirm.
Right.
And just the way the audio sounds, and then again, just you immediately have this campaign about it. Like first the merch, and then they didn't even mention this part, but I also saw where, like, I guess he did like a soda commercial, and it's one of those, I think, healthy sodas, maybe. I don't know. I didn't remember the name of it. But part of the commercial itself is where he's, I guess you could say, not making fun of the situation, but sort of, because he's acting out the fact that he's going to go see a psychiatrist, right? It tells you right there where he is. There's a couch, and he's like, I'm tired of all this, all these memes, because he's looking at his phone and he can't take it. And then he falls back on the couch, and then they're like, oh, here's something you need. And then that's where they give him the soda.
Oh,
and it's obvious that it's about what just happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, I was just going to say, because of all the other memes he has, like with the cigar and stuff, like.
Oh, okay, unless that's an old video. But see, like, the fact that that's coming back around, maybe. I don't know. See, it's
because I was going to say, I was like, well, damn, like, they, like, really putting in the work to have a commercial. Or, like, unless you're trying to say that, like, that was to tie into the commercial. Like, to be a meme. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I was like, damn, well, they really. But I'm like, okay, but, like, why go that route when there's, like, I'm sure other clips that would have been,
Yeah, like it could have been, I don't know, a sponsorship or a partnership, or
But why go the route of having like you exposed having sex on live?
Like that acted on its own, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like there could have been so many.
What
other,
would be
like,
the point? Yeah, like
that's just weird. I think, and I get it. Maybe it's coming back around, like that commercial, because I'm like, I feel like from all the other memes that he has, like
it's just very ironic then if that's the case, because like when you're watching it's like it's like as if it's right now, like
well, we're gonna dabble into conspiracies about that, because
well,
when you were telling me, I thought so. Like when he was telling me, like, oh, and I was like, oh yeah, and I'm like, we start telling him, like, oh wait, what I was gonna say or what I'm saying is completely different than what. Like, once you told me what actually, because I didn't know, I thought we were talking about the same thing as far as being, like, exposed. So when you told me, I was like, as soon as you told me what happened, I was like, oh, That explains. He's trying to do like what is it called? What's it called when they're damage control, right? I was like, he's
Yeah, I know
trying
where
to
you're going
keep
with
the
this.
story under wraps, right? So I'm like, so when you told me, I was like, no, that seems, then that's why it would be staged. So the conspiracy on TikTok is that he is gay and has been gay. And so the video I came across, which now that I'm looking at it, is actually from like July. Like the video, those pictures aren't even from like, this month. But it came up and they're like, and the title was like, this is why the whole video thing is to like hush these rumors. And I was like, what rumors, right? And I saw some zesty ass pictures of Shannon Sharp with his gay stylist. And I say stylist, not on the gay part. The guy is gay. It's more on the stylist part, right? Because first of all, it looks like Shannon Sharp cunt on one of the pictures, like he has a BBL, right? He looks like a bad bitch coming out of a car. Especially with that, like, whatever that number is that he's wearing, that green one, and the way he's coming out, I was like, I've never seen pictures of him like this. Then there's pictures of him at, I'm assuming they're basketball games. Don't quote me on that, I'm pretty sure. With his stylist, but the way that they're kind of sitting together, and it could very well just because like the stylist for sure is exuding gayness, and the fact that they're there together just kind of like they're like, oh, his like boyfriend, but then it's like, no, he was like, that's my stylist. But and not to say that you can't take your stylist to a basketball game, but like courtside tickets with your stylist, I don't know, it's a little sus. Who knows, right? I don't have like romances like that, so I wouldn't know. But then he goes out of his way, right? Because even if people notice, I don't think it was like that big of a thing as far as like rumors. Because again, I'm barely hearing about it now. That they would just be like that he needed to address them, right? So the fact that he goes and he addresses who the person is, right? And then he's like, yes, he's gay, but what does that have to do with me? And like that, then he was like feeling bad that he fired his old stylist, mind you, 20 years to hire him, but then was low-key talking shit about him, being like, oh, all this stuff he put together she had already done. So kind of like still at the same time taking shots at him. And I was like, you could just say like you fight, like you don't like, because now you're putting this other person down, like you're just like messy at this point,
Yeah, that's
so
true.
like, because that's weirdo behavior. Like, okay, so but you did hire him, and now you're kind of low-key being like, well, he's not really all that good like my other stylist, but you fired her. So like
After 20 years, right?
he was like, she was out, like she dressed me for red carpet, she was on ABC, like all these things. I'm like, yeah, but at the end of the day you still fired her and you hired this gay stylist. Like, so like that's not like, why are you trying to like put the blame elsewhere, instead of it's your own choices that you made, right? And I guess because people were starting to say like, oh, like this is like kind of weird. So then when you tell me about the whole live thing, I'm like, oh. Because I think with Ocho Cinco, he was like, oh no, I be getting the late. Like he's like really trying to like, I'm sorry, but when guys are very like trying to convince you that they get bitches, they usually don't get bitches. You know what I mean? Like, so he was just doing a lot. Like he's like, oh no, like I get it like left and right. And I was like, so then for him to go and do that like around the timing of that just seems like kind of sus,
Yeah, and funny you say that, because it's funny how we're all just piecing this together, because exactly like I had to then go find that explanation because Cam, he just seemed confused, unless, because he likes to kind of subliminally poke at things, right? And what's it call it? Yeah, he's like, so, how's that gonna, like, the video, right? Mm-hmm. How's that live video gonna happen? And then later on, you come on talking about telling Ocho Cinco, like, see, I told you I'm not gay, and here it is. Here's the proof, pretty much, like, that I be getting it in, like, you know? But he really, legit seemed confused, as I did, too, is because I'm watching him saying it, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, he did all that? Like, for real? Or is he just, like, bullshitting and, like, exaggerating. I'm like, no, like I look it up and yeah, he's doing what he said. Uh, so, but he's just saying that he planned it, but I don't even know if he's gonna follow up with this again. If then he catches on of that theory on TikTok about the stylist, because that's where he left on it. Because I didn't know, but episode before that, he had already started talking about it at the end. And so on the latest one where he brought it back up, he was like, yo, I know who you talking about, and it's me, because I guess apparently Shannon also is addressing him, but not really, by saying like, oh yeah, and these other I don't know if he's using these exact words, but I get what Cam is saying. Like, you're saying about other podcasters, but really more on YouTube, right? So these other YouTubers talking about me, about what happened. He's like, come on, bro. Like, who else are you talking about? I'm the one that's like talking about you.
He's like,
so
say my name.
You didn't say my name, but I know who you're talking about.
I'm done.
So, so I see this maybe going on maybe one more time. Who knows? Because he's already gotten into it with, what's his name? Shakur Stevenson. And it becomes real, like, because then the people he's critiquing do get online and start talking shit, and it is obviously about him, So I feel I'm on that, like, hey, I'm going to call your shit out. It was all a stunt. And yeah, he even went as far as to, like, if you go to his page, like, he like he has the phone in the back seat, and you can see his face, like, and so he's pretending he's having sex on live, right? But it, obviously he played it out, and it's just funny because then towards the end, or at the end rather, he's like, he looks back, he's like, oh shit, the phone is on, I'm on live. Like, as soon as I saw the post, I was like, I immediately knew who he was talking about right away, like what he's doing in that post and shit. I was like, yeah, nah. That shit had me dead. It was really funny. So yeah, I mean, but yes, like how you were saying, once you then told me that, I was like, okay, like,
it's adding up.
Come on now, like, come on, yeah, like, I think it was to shut that down for real. And he got on it real quick. Pause.
He said no, did he?
For real. He's like, that's funny because he's like, man, this Diddy shit better, like,
I'll take over.
Yeah. For real.
So like, now we're gonna stay on it.
Yeah. But let's see what happens. But I think that's all we got, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so pretty interesting.
Good laughs for sure.
For real. Well, we'll see what happens next week. Y'all have a good weekend. Anything coming up? Not really, right?
No, not really.
So stay tuned. We'll see what comes out of this. Maybe we'll talk about it. I don't know. I'm over it, but who knows? With the verdict, let's see what else happens. But as always, it's Bed Talk.
We out.